Well, it was quite a gimmick. There's no question about that.
And again, Jake Paul made 40, Tyson made 20.
You see, though, when they showed his work, there was a lot of promo to it. Well, he looked legitimate. I mean, actually, when he was in the ring and doing some of that, sparring and all that stuff, I don't think I'd want to badmouth Mike Tyson to his face.
No, he's still Iron Mike, and there's enough there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with him.
No. 58 going on 59. No, don't. That would be really bad for the average Joe out there who thinks they're a tough guy.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know. Let's just say him and Jake Paul break bad in the alley. Who do you like in that one, where they're both actually wanting to knock the other guy out?
After seeing what I saw, I think Tyson would put him in a hospital. A street brawl?
Yeah.
A street brawl where Tyson's also knows how to use those forearms and come in, and it's just not. I think Tyson would put a hurt.
That's kind of my impression, too. I would think if they really got into an all-out scrum, I think Mike Tyson at 58 would take Jake Paul.
Well, the best line
downtown.
he had in the pre-fight setup, and he's like, "You guys don't understand. I'm a born killer. He's faking it. I'm a born killer." And he was.
And you know what? You kind of have a tendency to believe it. At least I do.
You better believe.
Mr. Tyson, right this way, sir. Is there anything I can do for you?
So it's funny how many people are like, yeah, man, I'd get in the ring and do this and do that. Okay, well, no. The average guy, again, that's why you would be on the under cards in which people are just beating the hell out of each other. Because all these fights were they were like YouTube people or YouTube fighters.
Oh, is that right? Except for the two lady boxers.
Yeah, and they were all, I mean, because this is what they do to make a buck, and it's a tough way to make a living.
Who does these
YouTubers and anybody else that's
fighting. How they make a living?
Yes, because there's more action in these fights than laying a leather. That's why boxing is struggling to make a comeback because there's not enough action and there's
not enough blood.
Yeah, and with the advent of UFC and everything else, boxing's got its big wait before it gets back.
And there's something, and I would be willing to bet it's still going on, but years ago, I'm saying 30 years ago at least, I was in Vegas and I met this, he was a bodyguard, and to pick up spare money, and it turned out he was from Kansas, kind of interesting, but to pick up spare money, he bare-knuckled. He fought bare-knuckle fights out in Vegas.
And let me tell you something, John. It's big internationally. I've been in a few
bare-knuckle fights.
Bare-knuckle fight.
It's bare-knuckle fight is cockfighting and dog fighting and all that stuff.
And it's legit too because there's a whole bare-knuckle league and it's it's international.
I mean, is that something?
It's on TV.
But is it illegal?
No.
Really?
This is all sanctioned and prize money and
how's
the whole
that different
deal.
than a duel?
Bring it back.
Just saying.
You get to pick your weapon.
Well, technically,
or 10
I'm
paces.
Just saying, you got a bare knuckle fight and you kill the other guy, which is possible. There's been
no question.
Been more than one boxer has been killed by a punch.
Sorry, sign the waiver.
Well, wait a second. That got nothing to do with Big John Law. That's what I'm talking about. Big John Law will come in and say, hey, there's a murder here. I don't know. Maybe not.
We'll get into that later because there's a whole league of this. It's televised.
I guess it gets down to the intentions. If you're going to bare knuckle fight somebody, you really ain't there to kill him. When you got a pistol in your hand, it's kind of like, what else what other motivation can there be? You want to kill this guy?
We're heading that way.
Or kneecap him? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, all right. So I want to talk to you about. Your boxing career, you've told this story a number of times, and it was Golden. I need you to set Golden Gloves, and so set the scene.
1969, I'm thinking. I think it was my sophomore year, and it was
sophomore year of college.
Second semester, yeah, probably in February, March, something like that. Yeah.
And was it something you wanted to do? Your dad wanted you to do?
Well, we boxed a little bit as kids, and then I went, as at school, and so you could take your what do you call it? Your like a gym class,
right?
And you'd get a half a credit for it.
Right.
So if you took one half credit, so you would get full credit, and unless you was a real dipshit, you would get an A, which is the way I brought my great GPA up by taking gym classes. But yeah, so I took this boxing class, and the guy, somehow he got involved, and one thing led to another, and I went, yeah, I'll fight in the Golden Gloves. That'd be kind of cool. I'll give it a try. So that's basically what happened, and that's how I got involved in it. And I went over the night before, I believe, because I'd gotten a bye somehow. Don't ask me how. And I watched this guy who was like 6'7", and he was fighting a guy who was, not quite as big, but a big guy, probably too. And I weighed 230 some pounds for the fight. I was like 6'2", 230 something, 233, and I was just a big butterball, really, because spring training hadn't started or winter workouts or any of that stuff. But this guy, he punched the guy, and the guy was so unconscious that he fell into the ropes and hung there. When you see that, and so the night of the fight, guess who I am starting? My first fight is the big goon that knocked the guy into the ropes. Needless to say, I'm kind of going, I don't know about this, I don't know about this. So I dispatch him in about 50 seconds of the first round. A little hook to the rib cage, and then go up, and I'd been taught this, and I went up, and I hit the guy right on
the bell.
Right on the bean.
Knocked him out.
And he was out. He was done.
6 7. That was like timber. So
now I am like, I thought I was pretty bad. I thought, God damn it, I am. You don't want to mess with me. I mean, all I had to do, after seeing what he did to the other guy, I knocked him out. I'm going, well, this looks like it's all. Now, the guy I'm going to fight in the finals, he's like 5'10" or 11, probably weighs 205 or 10 pounds. If he weighs that.
Does he look like that guy? Because that's the guy.
That's Tony Chiaverini?
Yes.
Well, he looks like he might have put on weight since I fought him. He looks a little more formidable when I fought him. Because I saw that. I mean, he was not that big back then. But he was a heavyweight because we were in the same division.
No, John. So when you told me about this, remember last week I asked you, I said, well, how do you spell that name?
Yeah.
And you said, oh, God, what have I done? So I did my little research here on TJRS. We're very thorough.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, John, this guy, he was rated number 8 middleweight in the world in 1978. Chiaverini was a badass fighting at 147 to 150. So he was at that.
But somehow he was fighting in the heavyweight division.
He must have
lost weight.
Yeah, because he's 5'9".
Yeah.
And this guy, he was the real deal.
Right.
He fought. Check this out.
But now, let me say this. Well, go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, you tell me what you want to do, and then I'll describe the fight with Tony Chiaverini.
John, he fought Sugar Ray Leonard in 1979. In Las Vegas, Howard Cosell called the fight on
right?
ABC.
I'll be damned.
He made
that's something for me to be
made
$61,000. I had no idea.
Leonard made $140,000, and so the WCBC ranked Leonard 3rd at welterweight and Chiaverini 6th at super welterweight in that fight.
I'll be darned.
And Sugar Ray dispatched him in TKO in the. It was stopped in the 5th round, but your boy was good for it, and his professional record was like 39-6 and 2 draws with like 24 knockouts.
He was a real deal.
The real deal.
He was a what do they call those guys? A ringer. I had no idea.
Literally.
But he was. I mean, if he fought in the middleweight, I mean, he was fighting that night in the heavyweight division. Maybe it was because he's going, well, in the middleweight, I'm so used to winning. I want to go up a couple weight divisions. But anyway, let me describe the fight then, okay? So I'm coming off this huge victory, right, off of the big guy that I thought was like, now I think that I'm invincible. That's a huge mistake to make in anything that you do. I mean, overconfidence. It was beyond overconfidence. So then I see this guy, and I'm going, oh, shit, this ain't going to take me long.
Hey, Tony?
Yeah, so I get out there, and in the first round, I'm just like, and what you have to appreciate, I think wrestling may be more intense, but I'm telling you what, if you're throwing a lot of punches, boxing will wear your ass out too. I've never been so tired in my life as after this fight. But anyway, and he's like covering up, and I'm just like, how Ollie used to do this stuff when he'd be in the ring just to make fun of somebody. when he was beating somebody up. That I wasn't making funny, but I thought I was just going to, and he was dodging everything I tried to throw at him. So in the second round, it's like we get to the point, and he actually takes the bait and does the same thing to me. Because I'm all exhausted now, and literally just standing there with my gloves around, down on my side, and the crowd is booing. This is in the second round, and so then I go to my corner, and I'm actually in my mind I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to stay here. I'm not coming out for the third round. But I go,
Was Pops there?
No. I think my older brother was, but I decided, okay, well, I'll go out and see what. So I'm out there. Well, I go out to the third round, both of us. Now he is exhausted, and there are the two fighters. We're about 6 feet apart, and we're just standing there looking at each other. I'm telling you what, I actually thought I might be going to have some kind of an event. I'm in sweat. I was sweating 2 hours after that fight. I couldn't stop sweating, and I'm trying to think if they gave me oxygen in the dressing room or what. I can't remember that, but all I remember, you take a shower and that was true in football. You take a shower and you'd still start sweating. But this fight, I've never been so tired in my life. I actually thought I might have went too far, but yeah, it was one of those deals where I had no idea that Chiaverini would go on to and climb up in the boxing world. Because at the time, I'm thinking, we were both being booed off the the ring by the local people that came to watch the fight.
So how many rounds did it go?
3.
And that was it. It's just 3 round bout.
And it was a split decision. I tell people that was my forehead was split right down. But I know I had no cuts, no nothing. I mean, if he landed any punches, I have no idea. There was nothing. But but like I said, it was a split decision, which means it was 2-1, right? I think the judge that voted in my favor, I think that he just said, well, you got to give that guy credit. I mean, he gave it all he had. It was like, he's what do you call it? He's a tough sucker, and he's out there. He's a smart. No, he's not super smart. That clearly was not true. But apparently he's a good community guy because look at the effort he gave us. He gives a lot of effort.
Kansas City Kid.
Yep.
Kansas City Kid.